Your 20s are the most important financial decade of your life. The choices you make now can either build your wealth or quietly sabotage it. Sadly, most people fall into the same 5 money traps, and these mistakes could cost you years of financial freedom. And no, buying that extra-large frappuccino every morning isn't the worst mistake, but we'll get to that later. Stick with me for the next few minutes because mistake number 4? That's the one that blindsides most people, and by the time they realize it, it's already too late. Let's dive in and break these down, one by one, so you can avoid them and start building real wealth, today. Mistake number 1, waiting to invest. Let's start with one of the most damaging mistakes, waiting to invest. I get it. Most young people think, I'll invest when I make more money, or when I've paid off some debt. But here's the harsh truth. The longer you wait, the less time your money has to grow. The power of compounding is real. Your money literally makes money while you sleep, but only if you start early. Think of it like planting a tree. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is now. If you wait until your 30s, you're missing out on hundreds of thousands of dollars in potential wealth by retirement. Scary, right? But the good news is, even $50 a month, invested in the right place, can change your entire future. Think investing is just for people with a lot of money? Wrong. What if I told you you can start investing with the cost of one night out with friends? We'll circle back to the best ways to start investing, even if you have very little to spare. But first, mistake number 2, lifestyle inflation. Next up is lifestyle inflation, the silent killer of financial progress. Picture this. You land your first real job, suddenly, you're making more money than ever before. Naturally, you upgrade your apartment, buy a nicer car, maybe even start dining at fancier restaurants. It feels like you've made it. But here's the trap, as your income goes up, so do your expenses. The more you earn, the more you spend, leaving you in the same financial position, despite your bigger paycheck. Here's the danger. If you keep falling for lifestyle inflation, you'll never build real wealth. You'll always be living paycheck to paycheck, even if that paycheck is 6 figures. It's like running on a treadmill. You're working hard but not getting anywhere. And let's be real, who actually enjoys running on a treadmill? Instead of upgrading every aspect of your life, what if you could save or invest that extra income and let that work for you? Let's talk about how to do that later. But first, mistake number 3, not having an emergency fund. Now, this mistake might not seem urgent until it's too late. Not having an emergency fund is like walking a financial tightrope without a safety net. All it takes is one unexpected expense, a medical bill, car repair, or sudden job loss, and your entire financial situation can collapse overnight. Imagine this, you're living comfortably, paying your bills, then one emergency hits, and suddenly you're swiping your credit card for basic needs, sinking further and further into debt. Scary, right? But here's the good news, building an emergency fund is easier than you think. Even small steps can save you from disaster. How much do you need? I'll tell you that in just a second, but let's first tackle mistake number 4, which most people don't see coming. Mistake number 4, overusing credit cards. Credit cards can be incredibly useful tools, but they can also be dangerous weapons if misused. Too many people in their 20s fall into the trap of relying on credit cards for everyday purchases. And before they know it, they're buried under high-interest debt that seems impossible to escape. Credit card debt can spiral out of control faster than you think. With interest rates of 20% or more, what starts as a small balance can quickly balloon into something overwhelming. The worst part? It can take years to pay off. Ever feel like your credit card bill shows up faster than your next paycheck? Yeah, it's no accident. But here's how you can use credit cards to your advantage, without falling into the trap. Stick with me for a minute while we cover the last and most overlooked mistake. Mistake number 5, no financial goals. Finally, the biggest mistake of all, not setting clear financial goals. Without goals, you're drifting, spending money on things that don't matter, saving without purpose, and missing out on real opportunities to grow your wealth. Imagine this, instead of feeling lost, you wake up every day with a plan for your money. You know exactly where you're headed, whether it's saving for a house, traveling the world, or even early retirement. With clear goals, every dollar has a job, and every job gets you closer to financial freedom. And trust me, setting financial goals isn't as complicated as it sounds. In just a moment, I'll share a simple framework to get you started, but first, let's recap and talk about what to do next. So we've covered the 5 biggest money mistakes people make in their 20s. Waiting to invest, falling into lifestyle inflation, skipping the emergency fund, overusing credit cards, and not having financial goals. These mistakes might seem small now, but over time, they can cost you years of wealth-building potential. But here's the good news. You can fix these mistakes today. Start investing early, resist lifestyle inflation, build your emergency fund, manage your credit wisely, and set clear financial goals. Now that you know the mistakes to avoid, let's take it a step further. I've got another video for you on 7 money habits that are keeping you poor. Trust me, these habits are holding you back in ways you haven't even realized yet. Click on the end screen to watch it now and start taking control of your financial future. And don't worry, this video doesn't require you to give up your favorite coffee, unless you want to.